Good morning. How are you? It's cold here. Not enough for ski pants, and I may have to put my hat on. You can hear the chimes, and you can hear occasional birds. And I thought this is a day in which I should find a time to sit alone, drink a cup of coffee, and listen to Herbie Hancock, who's probably about 80 now. Smooth jazz. Man started as a classical musician, was a child prodigy at 7, and plays the most amazing music, and has changed a number of times over his life, and now teaches out in California. So, what is it about America right now that's out of order? From the beginning, we were put on notice that Trump was the puppet to Putin, that he had a mission and he was doing his part. And I have to think it was to confound what was all good and right about the nation. What's his payoff? I don't know. I don't think it could just be something embarrassing. Nothing embarrasses him. Probably it's about money, vanity. Perhaps it was the deal that he just confound one election. Maybe he wasn't expected to be elected. But in recent days, he has added another chapter to his misconduct, and it is to only accidentally admit he lost, to continuously to say he won, until such time as he doesn't, compromising the ascendancy of Fighting Joe to the White House. Now, we have to know he's smart enough to know, A, he's lost, and B, he is confounding our republic in the way he's conducting himself. The next to last thing he did that fits into this category is how he mishandled the virus. He purposefully, it seems, did nothing because he knew, as he told the Washington Post, Bob Woodward, that this was a terrible disease and it was vicious. And he let it go. And he let it go after he even publicly admitted it was a problem, tragedy. And even after he knew that down the road, like now, when it got colder and the flu season came and people were indoors more, that we would have a serious problem. So that's part one. And we'll be glad when he goes, because he is and has been so bad. But what about Americans? You know, we talk about how we put a man on the moon, but we won't put a mask on our face to protect us. We have an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court saying it's a liberty to risk our lives. You know, what happens if people decide they don't want to wear pants in public, or put safety belts on in their car, or wear helmets when they drive motorcycles, or even bicycles? We have coronavirus fatigue, really. And so what? We should do suicidal acts instead. Now the good news is there's a drift, maybe even a force in America, which comes with Biden's election, to ignore Trump's, his self-absorbed and manipulating conduct on Twitter and elsewhere. We know better than those who would do nothing, so we can take care of ourselves and perhaps sit and have a coffee and listen to Herbie Hancock and live to fight another day. Yes, there are vaccines on the way, but patience and resolve to be sure that when we take these items that could restore us to something like the society we had before the pandemic, that has to be done carefully, and we will do it carefully, because that's who most of us are, as reflected in the votes. We are going to have to show the courage of our parents and our grandparents who, when faced with challenges such as a rogue president, a lazy public who desires to be ignorant and ignore science, we have to get past that. So we don't just have an enemy of the people in the White House. We have him and a whole collection of people. How many millions? Not 70 perhaps, but maybe, I don't know, too many. And we have a public itself that lacks the discipline to take care of itself and would recharacterize any limitation on their freedom because of this raging epidemic as a violation of their individual rights. What? To risk their own lives? Well, perhaps that would be true if it was only their lives. But when they come out among us, they compromise all of us as well. So, we take care of ourselves, number one. We support Biden, number two. We try to support those two Democratic candidates doing what we can in Georgia so that the Senate might be on Biden's side when he is sworn in on January the 20th. But that's where we stand. So take care of yourself today. Be well. If you haven't ever heard of Herbie Hancock, look him up and play one of his tunes. You'll like it. Bye-bye.